Leo Sanchamanyavu Kechamalea tu Itaiwai. Hi everyone. Today we're talking about a moment that generations of Native families in North Carolina have waited over a century to see. A provision inside the 2026 National Defense Authorization Act could finally grant full federal recognition to the Lumbee Tribe, the largest Native tribe east of the Mississippi River. For more than 100 years, the Lumbee people have organized, testified before Congress, preserved their culture, and fought for a government to government relationship that was denied to them in 1956. Now, with Congress preparing to vote, that long fight may finally be reaching a turning point. But recognition isn't simple. It's political, it's legal, and it's tied to history, identity, and sovereignty. Let's break down what's happening and why it matters and what's at stake. This week, a revised version of the 2026 National Defense Authorization Act, a nearly $900 billion defense spending bill, was released with a provision that would grant the Lumbee Tribe full federal recognition. Congress is expected to vote on the bill within the coming days or weeks. Lumbee Tribal Chairman John Lowry responded with hope and determination, saying he remains deeply involved in uniting congressional allies to finally secure passage. Lowry is not only the elected chair of the tribe, he also serves in the North Carolina House, making him one of the most visible political advocates for the Lumbee people. The Lumbee tribe has over 55,000 enrolled members, making it the largest native nation east of the Mississippi River. North Carolina officially recognized the tribe in 1885, acknowledging their long-standing community centered along the Lumber River in Robeson County. But in 1956, Congress passed what's known as the Lumbee Act, a law that recognized the tribe in name only while explicitly denying full federal benefits and services. The decision placed the Lumbee tribe into a legal gray area that has lasted nearly 70 years. Full federal recognition would restore a true government to government relationship with the United States. It would unlock access to federal health care funding, housing programs, education grants, infrastructure support, and economic development resources long denied to the community. It would also allow the tribe to pursue gaming under federal law, a point that has fueled both political backing and opposition. This is not the first time the Lumbee recognition has come close. The U.S. House has passed recognition bills multiple times, most recently in September. The Lumbee Fairness Act was attached to the House version of the defense bill. Every time before now, the measure stalled in the Senate or was stripped during final negotiations. This time, momentum is different. Soon after taking office earlier this year, President Donald Trump instructed the Department of the Interior to outline possible paths for Lumbee recognition. Interior officials advised the tribe that their strongest option remained congressional legislation, the route they have been pursuing for decades. Trump has gained political support in Robeson County in recent election cycles, reflecting broader shifts in rural voting patterns. The support has helped elevate Lumbee recognition as an issue backed by Republican leadership in a way not seen in recent history. But while political support has increased, opposition remains. The Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians, the only tribe in North Carolina currently holding full federal recognition, has strongly opposed Lumbee recognition for decades. Tribal leadership argues that the Lumbee people, who descend from multiple southeastern indigenous nations and who also have African and European ancestry, do not meet federal standards of historical continuity. Eastern Band Principal Chief Mitchell Hicks released a statement calling the inclusion of Lumbee recognition in the defense bill deeply disappointing and alarming. He argued that a defense bill is not an appropriate vehicle for tribal recognition and questioned whether the Lumbee meet federal legal requirements for sovereignty. Supporters of the Lumbee countered that forced migration, intermarriage, and colonial survival strategies should never be used to deny indigenous identity. In fact, many southeastern tribes share similar histories of displacement and blending due to violent colonial policies. How federal recognition works. To understand why the Lumbee case is so complicated, you have to understand how federal recognition actually works. Historically, most federally recognized tribes gained recognition through treaties, acts of Congress, presidential executive orders, administrative decisions, or federal court rulings. In 1978, the federal government created a standardized process called the Federal Acknowledgment Process, or FAP, governed by what's known as Title 25 of the Code of Federal Regulations, Part 83. These regulations were revised in 1994 and remain in effect today. That same year, Congress passed the federally recognized Indian Tribe List Act. This formally established three legal ways a tribe can become federally recognized. One, through an act of Congress; two, through the federal acknowledgement process; and three, through a decision of a United States court. However, if Congress has never explicitly terminated a tribe's relationship with the federal government, that tribe cannot use the administrative process to regain recognition. Only Congress has the authority to restore it. This legal reality plays directly into why the Lumbee recognition must move through legislation. For tribes going through the administrative process, the requirements are intense. Petitioning tribes must meet seven mandatory criteria. They must prove they've been continuously identified as an Indian community since 1900. They must show they function as a distinct social community. They must demonstrate ongoing political authority over their members. They must have formal governing document or constitution. They must prove descent from a historical tribe through genealogical evidence, and most members must not already be enrolled in another federally recognized tribe, and Congress must not have legally terminated their federal relationship. Meeting these standards requires thousands of pages of documentation, historical records, church archives, census rolls, oral histories, anthropological research, and genealogical charts. The review process can take decades, cost millions of dollars, and still result in denial. This is why congressional recognition is so significant. It bypasses one of the most difficult legal processes in the entire federal system. North Carolina Representative Mark Harris, whose district includes parts of Robson County, called this moment historic and said, "Full recognition is now closer than ever," urging Congress to finally finish the work. For the Lumbee people, this moment represents far more political recognition. It reflects over a century of organizing, cultural survival, and community persistence. From powwows and homecomings to testimonies and marches, the tribe has never stopped asserting who they are. Whether Congress delivers in the coming weeks remains to be seen, but for the first time in decades, the possibility of justice is no longer distant, it's within reach. The question of Lumbee recognition is not just about federal policy, it's about survival, sovereignty, and the power of indigenous people to define themselves after centuries of erasure. As Congress moves closer to a final vote, the eyes of Indian country in North Carolina remain fixed on what would become one of the most significant tribal recognition decisions in modern history. Whether the outcome brings justice or another delay, the Lumbee people's fight is a reminder that recognition is never just given, it's demanded, defended, and carried toward by generations. Thank you for listening. Stay informed and stay grounded, and stay connected to the stories that shape our communities. Tuwa lias ang chameo kay tesiabu en lias apuan chimak. Chukula.